Hello, vintage outboard motor fans. This is TMike here at Toledo Bend Lake, making another video today. Today's video is one I'm so excited to make. I've been working on doing this for quite a while. The name of this video is going to be Trusted TMike Parts. That's right, Trusted TMike Parts. It's going to be a three-part video. First part is going to be the why. Second part is going to be the what, and the third part is going to be the how. So if everybody's ready, here we go. All right, so part one of the Trusted TMike Parts is the why. Why is TMike coming out with a product line called Trusted TMike Parts? So to answer that question, we have to go all the way back to the beginning of my venture in this hobby. I started my YouTube channel about 2 years ago. And the goal, as you probably know already if you've watched my channels, my goal was to provide every video that you would need to work on these motors. Johnson & Evinrudes 1950s, 60s, and 70s, 3 horsepowers all the way up to 20 horsepowers. So that was my goal, and I think I've done it. I've got almost 300 videos, and a lot of these videos were created because of requests from you, my subscribers, to round out all your skills on working on these motors. And I think I pretty much got it. I mean, whether it's Ray up in Omaha, or Craig in Ohio, or Kirk at the New York Vintage Outboard Motor Museum, or dozens and dozens others of you that I've helped through this time. That's how all these videos were made. Well, now I'm getting a lot of requests for the parts, not the parts that are already in my eBay store, the carburetors themselves, the gear case gears, the magnetos, but the kits, the carb kits, gear case kits, and magneto kits to work on them. A lot of you guys have picked up the hobby and not sure which kits to get, so it dawned on me, I need to provide the Trusted TMike Parts. So I've been working on it for a couple of months now, and I think I've got it. I've got all the carb, ignition, and gear case kits that you would need to work on these motors, and they're called Trusted TMike parts just for that reason. You can trust these parts. These are the parts that I use on my motors. It's a tricky business buying these parts. Some of them are made from China, and they act like they're Sierra parts, and they're not. But if you go on my eBay store and buy the Trusted TMike Parts, you can be guaranteed that they are the right parts and they will work for you. And you have a video on how to use these parts and a phone number and somebody to talk to back up these parts. Me, TMike. So that's the why. The answer to the why is I want to do everything I can to help everybody with this hobby, and having these kits is part of that. That's my next goal. So that's the end of part one. Now let's move on to part two. Okay, so part two is the what. What are the Trusted TMike Parts? Well, as I mentioned earlier, there's 3 main components in a vintage outboard motor. There's the ignition magneto, there's the carburetor, and there's the gear case. And they make kits for all 3 of these components. And I've gathered up and inventoried just the right kits for you in my eBay store, and I'm gonna give you a little tour of my inventory right now to show you all these kits. Here we go. Okay, here's a tour of my inventory of Trusted TMike Parts. Here's the spark plugs I recommend, J6Es. Here is the Master Tuneup Kit, 18-5006. That's the Tuneup Kit. Here's the Coils, 18-5181. All right, so that's all the parts for my Master Tuneup Kit except for the spark wires and boots, which are down at the end. Now here's the fuel pumps I recommend, 18-7352 for the 15 and 18 horsepowers. Here's the fuel pump for the 7 and 10 horsepowers. It's a 18-7350. And then here's all my conversions. Here's the bypass cover to convert the 18 horsepower, the 15 horsepower, the 10 horsepower, and the 7.5s. I've also got listings for fuel connectors. The fuel connectors you'll need for the upgrade is 376154. And moving on down towards the other end of my shop here, I've got all my carb kits. Here is the 18-7043. That covers the 2, 3, 5.5, 6, 7.5, 10, 15, 18, 20, and 20 horsepower. And here's the carb kit for the 9.5s. It's part number 380204. And here I got my gear cases. For the 18 horsepower, it's a 18-2684. Note it is the Sierra parts. Most of these are Sierra parts. There are a couple of Chinese made kits that I trust that are in here, but most of them are Sierra. Now here's the gear case kit for the 9.5s and the 10 horsepower. It's 18-2682. Here's the gear case for the 9.9s and the 15s. That's an 18-2656. I'm still waiting on my parts in for this, for the 6 and the 5.5. That's the gear case 18-2679. And here's my spark wire, boots, spark wire here, boots here for my spark wire that I offer. And then I have the impellers that you need. Here's the 18-3001s, 18-3002s, and the 18-3003s. So that's the inventory for you to get the trusted TMike parts. Get them here. All right, so as you can see, I've got all the kits. When it comes to the ignition magneto, I've got the master tune-up kit that has the coils, points and condensers, spark plug wires, has everything that you need. I've also sell these parts individually in my store. If you just want the tune-up kit, you can get just the tune-up kit. And the links for all this is down below in the description. Okay, it's also in the carburetor area. All right, I have all the kits for all the different years. I have the fuel pump conversion kit with the bypass cover adapter made for all these. I have the fuel pumps. I have all this in my inventory. You can buy it from TMike, trusted TMike parts. When it comes to the gear cases, I have the gear case kits for all the different horsepowers that you need in the range that we work on. So I have all the kits. If you need them, just go to my eBay store. Links down below. You could just Google trusted TMike parts, and all those parts would come up in my store, and you can scroll down. Or I have the separate listings and the links down below to go straight to whichever part you want. And you can always call me and talk to me. All right. So that is the what. Now we move on to the third part of the video, which is the how. How do I get these parts? All right. So the how. How do I get these parts? It's simple. You can just go straight to Google and Google T-MIKE parts. And all these parts will come up on your Google results. Or you can go to my eBay store and type in TMike parts. Every listing I have has TMike parts in the listing for you to be able to search and find it. That's how to find them. You can always text or email me, and I can shoot you the particular link. My phone number is right here, 337-278-5429. I don't mind you texting me or calling me. Short conversation, 10 to 15 minutes to help you with your hobby. I'm always available to do that. I can just send you the link to buy the parts. So that's the how. So let's do a little summary of what we talked about. We talked about the why, the what, and the how. The why of Trusted TMike Parts is because I want to be able to provide everything you need to work on these motors. And this will help you get the exact parts that you need. And the what are the TMike Trusted Parts, and they're the parts that you can work on your magneto, your ignition, your carburetor, or your gear case. And the how is how to buy them on my eBay store. Just search by part number or by TMike parts. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I love what I do. I love working with you guys. Have any questions or any comments, just call me. If you're not a subscriber, click on subscribe. I promise to do at least one video a week. Keep everybody updated on what's going on here at TMike's Vintage Outboards. See y'all next video. Well, thanks for watching the video. I'd like to take this time to share with you some of the offerings that I have here at TMike's Vintage Outboards. The first thing is my eBay store. I have over 2,000 parts in my eBay store, almost anything you need for your vintage outboard motors. Johnson and Evinrudes, 1950s and 60s, 20 horsepower and less. Have the link to my eBay store and all of these services down below in the description. Second thing is technical consulting. I offer technical consulting to help with your outboards, $40 an hour. Just buy one of these and you get an hour's worth of consulting. If it's 5 or 10 minutes of a question or two and you want to call me, it's free. Just call me. My phone number is 337-278-5429. I answer my phone all the time. All right. Next thing I do is I started selling kits for your motors. I have a master tune-up kit for doing your ignition magnetos. I have the coils, points and condensers, spark plug wire, spark plugs, and I also sell all of these parts individually. All right. Next thing I started offering now is fuel pump conversion kits, the FPCs, to upgrade from a dual line to a single line. Offer a kit for the 7.5s, for the 10 horsepowers, and for the 15 and 18 horsepowers. All right. The next thing I do is I service, repair, and restore. I've done over 130 full restores. I do a light restore for $9.50. I do a full restore for $12.50. And I do service and repair work for $40 an hour plus parts. All right. And also, I have TMike caps and mouse pads for sale. All right. Join the TMike club and buy you some of these. So the links for all this are down below. And also, I have over 280 videos now on everything you need to know. If you come up with something that you find I don't have a video for, just hit me up on this channel or on my phone number, and I'll try to do it for you. Thanks so much, and remember, always remember, and never forget, we're doing it one motor at a time.